Kris, it was our understanding that today would be a day off for the team. I'm just wondering how the process changed and how that decision was made. Is it the players want to get on the ice? Was it you? What was the process of going out there today?
Just with our schedule, it was, I guess, weren't 100% sure what we were going to do after the game, after we thought about it exactly what we wanted to do. I thought it was better to practice, then take the day off, and then have the pregame skate and kind of break it up a little bit and not be on the ice all the time. And then we find the 8 o'clock games just a long time not to be on the ice. So having the day off the day before, and then that's our plan.
Left side, front row.
Kris, a few of your players remarked that they felt the Panthers have been getting away with more things uncalled, I guess, in these games. Is there anything you or the organization can do to try to have that no longer be the case?
Not sure what we can do. We can play hockey. Hopefully it works out. There's always games where you are unhappy. There's always missed calls. Both teams are going to say, they missed that. They missed a high stick, whatever it is. You just hopefully over the long haul that it's evens out. And, there's some, take out the third period. That's another thing. And all those penalties that were called against us in the third period absolutely should have been called. I think they handled that really well. But I just look at the calls that made us shorthanded in the first period. It's important for us to be disciplined and not go into the penalty box. But I don't know. It's tough for us to say that we're not going to do that because one of the high sticks got pushed up into his face. Cross check, the guy falls. I really didn't think that was much of a cross check. I don't know. They're all judgment calls. It's difficult. It hopefully works out. I'm sure Paul's looking at his video and saying we should have got called some other times. So ultimately, we just hope it works out.
Right side, front row.
Kris, this group's been pretty good at parking and moving on from difficult losses. You did it in Los Angeles. You did it in Vegas. I guess what is the key to doing that here, and just flushing it and then moving on to the next one?
Yeah, guys knows what's important, and we're not happy with our play, and we're not happy we lost our last 2 games. But everyone's knows what's at stake and what they need to do, and that we need to stay focused on the goal. I agree with you. I think we've done a heck of a job putting some really crushing losses. The LA, where we had a tremendous, I think that was game 1 or game 2. Game 1, unbelievable comeback, pretty much all on Connor's shoulders. And then we lose with, 10 seconds left. Same thing with the Vegas. They score with 0.4 seconds left. They don't get much more crushing than that. We've always been able to pick ourselves up and carry on. So, I'm very fortunate to have the group of guys that I have in the room. They are fabulous. They are mature. They're focused, and they handle success very well. They handle adversity very well. And we're just going to need that maturity to move forward.
Right side, second row.
Kris, I'm not referring to the third period when it got out of hand, but just the kind of the game within the game, standing your ground in the crease, scrumming it up after the whistle, that sort of thing. Obviously, you don't want a group to get pushed around at all, but do you think you were a little bit on the wrong side of that, overdoing it a little in some ways, and it threw you guys off a bit?
Well, that's Florida does a really good job at that. That's their game. They like that. We got to play our game. That's with the puck, good defensive hockey, and some guys thrive on those extracurricular activities, things that happen after the whistle. But I think some of our guys got a little distracted with that. I think it's most important for us to play between the whistles and there's going to be things that happen after, but I think it's most important is what we're doing between the whistles.
Left side, fourth row.
Kris, you were asked about Stuart Skinner last night. A day later, how are you feeling about his performance so far in the final, and will he start in Game 4?
We haven't decided. We'll announce that before the game. But I think a lot of the games that Stu, maybe it wasn't on his A game. Our team wasn't on their A game in front of him. So I don't think there's any bad goals. Maybe an extra save, but it doesn't matter how well Stu played last night. It wouldn't have made any difference in the game, most likely. So, I'm not holding anything against Stu on that performance.
Right side, fourth row.
Where's the fine line when you're making that goalie decision? When you have a guy like Stuart Skinner, who's been your starter for most of the year, you go away from him and it works with Calvin Pickard. Like, what goes into sort of like the calculus of making that sort of goaltending decision this deep in the playoffs?
Well, the games like last night, if you're talking about just last night, we're down 5-1 at the time. We're not playing very well in front of him. I don't think that's fair for him to stick in there and play through it. And here we've got a goaltender, Pix, who's been pretty good, 6-0 in the playoffs. Hasn't played, and whether we use him again, here's a little opportunity for him to get some playing time. So when we do use him, he's a little more comfortable when he goes in that net. So I think it's one, just allowing Pix some playing time just in case we do need him. If we do choose to use him at a certain point. But also give Stu some time off and not have him play through that circumstance.
Last one, right side, front row.
Kris, I asked Corey Perry about the power play just a few minutes ago, and he said, obviously you're not going to score on all of them, but you want to get the opportunities, and you also want to generate momentum for the next shift especially. Are you seeing that right now in general over the past 3 games? And if not, what do you need more on the power play?
I think we need more, certainly pucks going in the net. But I think we've had some power play, especially early in games, where it was about, we had some good looks, we had some good opportunities, and they just didn't go in. And if they go in, they maybe change the game a little bit. Thinking about the first one, and I know Bouchard had some good chances, one for sure, if not 2. Maybe that changes things a little bit. I'm thinking about the first power play, Game 2 in Edmonton. Same thing early. We had some really good looks, and and unfortunately you just can't always put them in. I guess where it really caught us in Game 2, we had a bad power play, killed momentum, and we gave up a goal against. That's tough. But it's tough when you look at the percentages. It's not where it usually is, not accustomed to. But there's always been times through the regular seasons where, 5-game segments or 10-game segments, it hasn't been that good. But, it'd be nice to get some more power play goals. I certainly think we'll get some more opportunities, and we got to be ready to capitalize on them.